My name is Sunela Thomas, and I am the Program Director for the Masters in Business Analytics and Artificial Intelligence program at UTD. Even though these sessions are scheduled mainly to address your questions, I would like to give you an overview of the program first, which should answer many of your questions. I also have here Sylvia Leventhal. She's a program manager, and she will answer questions in the chat as they come to your mind. And if there is any questions that they can be answered with a link, she will post them immediately. Okay, so just while you remember, just while I'm speaking, if you have a question, post it in chat. If it can be answered with another link or with an easy answer, she will answer it. At the end of my presentation, I will give you a chance to ask me live questions if everything in the chat has been answered. Okay. So you may be wondering, what is so great about UT Dallas? Lots of things. Okay, our campus is expanding to meet the student needs. Our student population is roughly around 30,000 students to all of UTD, with the Jindal School having 10,000 students roughly, out of which 4,000 are graduate students. Okay, if you look at the GDP, I would say Texas is the 8th largest economy, and DFW is considered as the 23rd largest. Okay, so what does this all mean for you? Lots of different industry sectors call DFW their home, which means lots of opportunities to meet professionals who have industry experience. Some may be your professors as adjunct faculty or part-time faculty. Some may be guest lecturers in class, or for some student organization. And there are a lot of student organization. And some will be your employers. Right? A diverse group of companies like ExxonMobil, Texas Instruments, AT&T, American Airlines, Kimberly-Clark, McKesson, Toyota, CBRE, they all call this region as their home, reflecting this area's strong fundamentals when it comes to workforce, their access to things, and the cost of doing business here. So now let me talk about the program modalities. There are three modalities, which is Flex, Cohort, and Online. I manage the Flex program. And if you look at it, the main difference between these three modalities is that Flex have the largest number of tracks. All the programs require 36 credits to graduate. And 6 of those courses or 18 credits are core and 18 credits are elective. For cohort and online, there are only 2 tracks, which means that your courses are majority going to fit into only those 2 tracks. Okay. In your diploma, you're not going to see the track that you're taking. And you don't have to take the courses, all your elective courses, in one of those tracks. Like you can take mix and match. That's the beauty of the Flex program. Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about the Flex program. One, it has a diverse curriculum, right? As I mentioned, that 11 tracks, which means there are over 80 courses. It is on campus, majority are on campus. And you will also find online, which is synchronous or asynchronous. Synchronous meaning that you have to be live online, like similar to what we are doing now, during the time the classes. Asynchronous is when you're doing all the courses at the materials, you're learning it, the time that you have your availability, if you're working full time or no matter what you're doing at that point. The second one I would say is expert instruction. So we do have a lot of full-time faculty who are PhD holders who are academicians, but we also have PhD holders who came from industry, or non-PhD holders who came from industry. These could be all your full-time faculty. So that's the beauty of having in UTD specific, I would say it is that we are in a business school teaching a technical course, okay? So researchers, industry veterans, you will see a lot of industry veterans here. The third one I would also, to add to that is your industry connections. Like, because these faculty members have come from the industry, or they have peers, ex-peers or current peers who are in the industry who will come and speak to their class. The students in their class get that benefit of not only the connection, but also the real life scenario in there. Um, let's talk about the application requirements. This is rolling admission. So we do have deadlines. You can apply after the deadline, paying the extra fees. I would always encourage students, especially if you are international students, to apply before the deadline, because not only do you have to get accepted, you also have to get your visa. Okay, so the application is $50 non-refundable fee if you are completing it within the deadline. International students will also pay an additional $50 for their credentialing fee, which is done at UTD. You need a personal objective statements. And here is where I am going to tell you, be mindful of what you're writing, right? All of us, you, me, and everybody in between, know when something is written completely by ChatGPT. Okay. So this is where I'm not saying don't use ChatGPT, but this is where you're going to speak your heart. Why is it that you want to come to UTD and take this course? Okay. You have to, you have your resume. That doesn't mean that we are looking for students who has prior work experience. There may be some students who are coming straight from the undergraduate. You have a place here too, okay? Your unofficial transcripts. So if you're currently doing an undergraduate program and you don't have the final transcript, you can still submit based on what you have right now. And if you have already complete your undergraduate program, then submit your unofficial transcript. Once you get admitted, we will tell you, you will be given the option to submit an official transcript at that point. Official transcript meaning that it has to come straight from the university that you attended. They either snail mail or physically mail it, or there is an option for them to submit it electronically. I would say electronically is probably the easiest way to do. You have 3 letters of recommendation that is required, which is if you never had a working experience or less than 2 years of experience, you need 3 letters of recommendation. Otherwise, you can only, if you have more than 2 years, then you only need 1 recommendation. This course, just like many universities do, it's an optional GRE GMAT score. If you have a very good GRE score, then I would say submit it, right? If you have really low GRE score, I would recommend not submitting it. Okay, we'll process the application based on your other transcript, like other grades that you have got in your previous education. So as I mentioned earlier, the Flex program has 36 credits. It's 18 credits are core, 18 credits are electives. There is 11 tracks, and you will see on the right side of the page, all the 11 tracks that are there. You are not focused, you don't have to be focused on one track. You want to be focused on one track, that is fine too. Take all the classes in there, but there will be more than 6 elective courses in a particular track. So technically you won't be able to take all of them, okay? Then you have, it's a STEM designated program. So what does that do? STEM designated program gives you an extra 2 years for your OPT. So between your CPT and OPT, curricular practical training and optional practical training, you have 3 years that you can work in this country without being sponsored by anybody. Okay. Application deadlines, this is all in our website. Just remember that if you're applying for fall 2025, fall is our largest intake of new students. And spring also, I would say reasonably now we have like similar students in there. Summer may be our lowest number that is coming in, and there are less number of courses offered in summer. But if you're a new student coming in, all your prerequisites, they are offered in there. And some electives are there too. So it's not like you're going to find shortage of classes. You will still have enough classes. But if you want to get together with another student or know a lot of peers, I am going to say fall or spring is your best option in there. Okay, now the question always comes up within scholarship and TA-ships. So let's address the scholarship first. We have multiple scholarship. It's a separate application. Okay, so you have to submit the application. If it's a Dean's Excellence Scholarship, that requires a GRE or GMAT. If it is a program excellence, there is criteria that we internally have a committee focused on looking at it. Okay. The main part, I would say, meet the deadline of those applications. We do not consider anybody, no matter what your reason is, we do not consider any application that did not meet the deadline. TA-ship, that is only available in the second semester, meaning that you have to prove to us, regardless of what grades you had before, you have to prove to us that you are qualified to become a TA. It's an application again during your first semester in our university. And we will wait for because when you apply, I think it's like in October timeframe, but your grades are not available until December, right? So we wait until your grades are posted to look at it. But the application pool, now I would say both scholarships and TA-ships, these are highly competitive. It's not just somebody who got a 4.0 GPA or 3.9 GPA automatically gets a scholarship. That is not how it works. There are a lot of things that we look into, both for scholarship and TA-ship. Look at your leadership capability. What have you been involved in? That plays a lot in TA-ship. Once you get into the university, once you're admitted, my word of advice would be, hey, get involved with things. Don't bombard your calendar with everything, but you find what is useful and what is beneficial. For example, this semester, every semester we have this, we have student org fair that happens next week. So every student org is there. Go find something that you are interested in and be actively taking part in that. Scholarship, one of the things to keep in mind is that let's say you got admitted in fall and now you want to defer it to spring 26. You can defer one time, but you cannot defer the scholarship. This is why I say sometimes students defer the admission because they didn't get their visa, but you can defer the admission one time, but you cannot defer the scholarship. You will follow the same process as you've done before, application-wise. You must accept the scholarship when it is offered. Okay, so check your email, make sure you accept it. If you are changing from one program to another, so you come into the program and then you realize, oh, I like to change it to a different program. You got a scholarship doesn't transfer. Okay. If your scholarship is awarded in fall, it's for 1 year. That means you get it in fall as well as in spring. If you're only coming in spring and you're awarded a scholarship, then it's only applicable to that spring semester. You can reapply for scholarship as a continuing student. Those are different pools. We obviously have a larger pool in new incoming students, right? In continuing students, the criteria may be a little more strict. because we look at your performance in the semesters that you have studied with us. What does this all mean, scholarship? The scholarship helps you to get a reduction in your tuition by 50%. Okay. Typical core courses that we have for our MSBA and AI is the 6 courses I said, like you have to take, right? And in addition, in the first semester, you have to take a professional development course. And I'll talk about that in a minute. The courses that you see in blue, you only take one of those courses. Okay. You cannot take all 3 courses. You won't get credit for all 3. You'll only get credit for one. Now, the difference would be if you take business analytics with R and you take modeling with R. Modeling is elective in another track. You can get both the core as well as the elective, right? That is the only course, 2 courses that in the core that you can substitute and get at. In terms of first semester course, and I say this every prospective webinar, students get admitted and then they totally deviate this and go take additional classes and different classes. And then once the ad drop date, the last date, they're frantically looking for change, okay? There is a reason why we tell this, because we see students who have progressed in this course, how well they have done. How is it easy for students who didn't have a technical background when they come here? What is the best way to go? So we do tell them that, hey, take the database foundation, take one now business analytics with R, I mean, maybe you can substitute it. The database foundation and the advanced stats is a prerequisite for many courses after that in the elective. So you're better off taking those 2 in the first semester. You may wonder, well, what if I don't have any technical background? We give you free boot camps that our students, current students, work with you. And it's typically online, so you don't have to be there in person. And you definitely have access to the recording, but being in the live class helps you to ask questions, right? These are provided typically 2 weeks before the classes start. Internship, that is part of the requirement in this program. Now, you will not be eligible for internship unless you finish 2 full semesters. That means if you're coming in fall, you are eligible the summer of the following year. So if you're fall 25, 2 full semesters mean fall 25 and spring 26, you're eligible for summer 26 internship. If you're coming in in spring 26, you're only eligible for internship in spring 27, right? So think of 2 full semesters mean spring and fall. Summer is not considered as a full semester. There are a lot of variability in there. You can get an internship and get 0 credit, 1 credit, 2 credit, 3 credit. You don't have to worry about any of that. I'm not going to go into details. You can look at what our students post in our, if you look at LinkedIn stories, hashtag UTDMSBA, you will see the lot of student writing stories about their internship experience. It is part of the requirement. Just so that you have an internship doesn't mean you don't do a course. There is an internship course that based on your credits that you're taking, that you have to do certain things to either pass or fail that course. Now, don't fret or panic if you did not get an internship, right? Because there are a lot of students in the program and some don't get an internship for some reason or other. You may not find a right fit. You may not find you didn't apply at the right time. You didn't know about it, whatever the case may be. We do have a practicum class, and there are several students who fall into that because sometimes students feel that, hey, in the practicum class, it's a 3 credit course that I get to, some of the practicum class, it's they teach new tools. I teach a practicum class, and I have external speakers coming in and talking about things, so they get connection to those speakers. I will have an external vendor come and showcase one of their tools. Most of the time, it's a low code, no code kind of tool like Nime or Alteryx or something like that, that they get an opportunity to work on that and put that on a resume. The key employers, again, if you look in our website, you will see the companies that hire. Some are big names and some are small, medium companies. You will be surprised how many students get hired into these small and medium companies. Okay. We have umpteen number of student organizations. Just in JSOM, or Jindal School of Management, we have 70 organizations. This is only partial of that. I would say this is curated list of clubs that are specific where our MSBA and AI students go, because it has a lot of analytics skills in there. There is product management student organization. And this is where, like, you probably will be part of a student organization, one in analytics and one in non-analytics. That is what I would recommend students, so that you get an insight. It's not only meeting other peer students, it's meeting other employers coming in there. We always also have in this program certifications, okay, or certificate programs. This is free to you as a student in the program. There are criteria that you need to apply for it. Not just take the course doesn't get an automatic. You need to have a certain GPA. Now, overall in our program, if you want to graduate successfully, regardless of whether you completed 36 credits or not, that's one of the things. You need a cumulative GPA of 3.0 minimum, and you need a core GPA of 3.0 minimum, okay? And that applies to all the certificate programs also. You have to enroll in it. The three course certificates that I show here, if you take courses in all three of them, there's minimum of four, there's actually 4 courses that you have to take. They're all different for each of these particular 3 certificates. It's a stackable degree. That means you get your master's degree and 3 certificates, right? But again, bear in mind, the certificate you only apply once you start your program. You don't apply right now, because if you apply right now, you have to pay for them. Once you're in the program, there is no fees, application fee in it. Okay. My last bit is follow us on social media. Okay. If you, we are very strong. Our student organization Leadership Council is very strong in Instagram and LinkedIn. You will see on different things that are happening. The boot camps, when we put it, it is posted in both Instagram and LinkedIn. So I would say most of the things you can connect with students if you want to know more. If you want to connect with the program that both Sivya and I look at, you can directly send it to msbuan@utdallas.edu. One of us will answer your question. You can also reach out to us independently if you want to. But one thing I would say is that don't put a program email and to us, right? Separately, because that's just going to bombard our email inbox and it just takes longer to respond. So do one or the other. If you have very specific catered questions, happy to answer it. Okay. So now I'm going to unshare and then help answer your questions that you have. Let's see. Sivi, is there any question? It looks like you have answered a lot.
There haven't been any questions.
Okay.
One just came in.
Okay. All right. So let me just look at the question from Sheikh Robin. I said, I have not uploaded for the scholarship, and since I am more interested in the program than the deals, will I be eligible for? So if you apply for a scholarship and you did not submit your GRE score, you will be considered. I cannot tell you whether you're going to get it or not. right? It's highly competitive. We used to look at it and award scholarship only at the very end, but we have changed that process so that scholarship is also throughout. When we get the application, somebody got admitted, we look at the criteria and started doing it as an ongoing basis. Okay, so typically I would say once you put all your once you submit your application, meaning not when you started it, once you've completed adding all the required documents in there, I would say 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, that's because um, if you're applying by end of March, you got to think that we also have current students that we have to cater. They are graduating, and there may be some pool of students who are graduating in May. So I would say 4 to 6 weeks minimum. In terms of when you would get I-20, the best way is CIVI has posted it. The ISSO is our only authorized organization or department that can answer any question related to I-20, your eligibility, F1 visa, something. CIVI and I cannot answer that question. Okay, so Srijit's question of selecting elective module. So this is where I would say, if it is your first semester, you will take it, we do have advising webinars and things like that. You can reach out to me. I have a master's in data science, a master's in computer science, and an MBA. I'm quite qualified to tell you what courses you can take. But we have an grad advising for JSOM that you have access to, and you can ask them based on your interest. So I would say it's strictly based on your interests, what you should take as your elective. We can guide you. That's the only thing that we would do, guide you in that. We would never force you to take something if you're not interested. So I would say electives, the first semester, if you really want an elective, I would say data visualization, big data, those are the courses students have taken. But second semester, you will have an ample opportunity to come to our advising pod and get insights. Other students will be there. You have advising pods where other advisors may be there. CB and I there, we can always provide insights. Okay. Okay, so in terms of Sheikh's question on RAGA, so as I mentioned, the RAGA, like you're meaning graduate assistant, as I mentioned, you can only apply for TA, RAGA in your second semester. You will apply in first semester, but you will not get in first semester. Your campus jobs, you get in through Handshake. That is where all the campus jobs are posted. Now, I can very well tell you, based on my interactions and experience here with other students, most of the campus jobs are given when you meet with other students who are doing those jobs. By anything these days is networking. If you just apply for a job, you're not going to get it. Okay, that is for any job and any internship in that matter. Yes, so your question, Alan, on do we pay for the credential evaluation? Yes, you do. Gopika, your question on the deadline to accept the admission, that should be in your admission letter. There is no enrollment deposit that we ask. That you basically accept obviously you need to accept the admission. Given, no, so there are, basically you have to take 12 courses. So 6 core and 6 electives. Yes, you will. If you have a specific certificate that you want other than the 3 I showed, which are all BA and AI courses, you will have to take those electives to satisfy. Yes, your question, Jyotsna, on if business analytics and AI is not the program for you, I will say yes. You can answer. It's just a change of program. Now, you cannot do that in the first semester. Like you cannot come here the first semester and then at that point say, "Hey, I don't want a business BA and AI," because if first semester you have to be admitted in a program and do that program. Second semester, you can do a change of program in there. If you got an scholarship for MSBA and AI and you want to change the program, you may not have the scholarship transferred over because it's program specific that we give scholarship. Okay, I think the tuition fees is it's in the Bursar site. I'm pretty sure Aja that Civi will post a link to that. Um, okay, so translation of official transcript basically means they will look at, we have tiered colleges, and there is a whole credentialing group that does it based on that. So some universities, as you can probably see, just because you got a 3.78 in a university that is a tier below UTD doesn't mean it's a 3.78 at UTD. That's basically the credential. Then we look at the courses you have taken, right? We look at if you have absolutely no course that you have taken, a math or calculus or anything, we would recommend that in order to be successful in this program, you should take the prerequisite of quantitative methods, because otherwise you're going to struggle, right? If we get you admitted, we want you to be successful in that. We want you to graduate and be comfortable in that program, right? So that is basically we're looking at that. Question on, okay. Stevie, you have answered that 858 from Umar. What makes Okay, so standing out, so this is what I would say. If you're admitted to the program, you don't have any technical background. This is where you take interest. We have given you boot camps. You find people to help you. You come find me. I will help you find people to help you. And it's always the peer collaboration. Graduate courses are not like undergraduate where you're studying something and you get a grade for it. It is a lot about collaboration with your peers, doing a lot of group projects, being active in it, not a passive group member, being active in it, and interacting and asking people for help. I tell students, if you are struggling in a course, don't just come to campus just that one day of the week or 2 days that you have classes. When you have classes, you cannot meet other people. Come to campus at least 4 days a week, meet with other students. I've seen what I'm admire about our students who really want to excel is that we have a lot of space where students collaborate, open spaces, right? I see students sitting in there, 4 people in a table or 6 people on a table. They may be all doing their own homework, but they are collaborating because they may ask somebody a question that they have. Doesn't mean you're copying from somebody, but you're asking somebody else how they may have completed that class in the previous semester, but they are in your friend group that you get to talk to them. It is basically collaborating with other people. So I'm
You can
scrolling
go,
down.
sorry, to the question from Rohini at 901.
Okay. Okay, so you will see I think this is a Telegram group. I don't know specifically a WhatsApp group. When you and Rohini, when you say cohort, Here, because there is a cohort program, it's different from Flex. So I don't know what the cohort program does, whether they have a WhatsApp group. In the Flex program, if you find other students or other student organization, I know there are other student organizations for each country, each organ, like they do have WhatsApp group, right? I'm not part of that WhatsApp group. There are many now. Once you are admitted to UTD and you have the UTD app, students constantly post in there of accommodations that are, they're subletting something, a room. So there's a lot of opportunities to connect. Okay, so Jyotsna's question is, can you apply for scholarship after getting admitted to the program? Timing. Okay, so you got to think, if you're waiting till admission, and you can, once you're admitted and you submit everything required for the scholarship that you have, yeah, because the scholarship application does not ask for an application fee. Sivi, am I correct in that?
I do not believe there's any application fee to apply for the scholarship.
Yeah. So for the application so you can apply after that. Yeah, totally. Okay, so the way you answer your question 1 year. So let me give you an example of, if you got admitted for fall 25, you applied for the scholarship, you got the scholarship. That scholarship is for fall 25 and spring 26. If you want a scholarship for fall 26, you have to reapply. Okay, so for the question on Festus, where you asked for international student expected cost, I think earlier Sivi probably posted the Bursar's website where you have that information. So even if you just Google and say UTD cost calculator, cost estimator, Bursar, you can find that. Okay. Feel free, now that I have answered every question in the chat, feel free to unmute and ask a question if you need.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. So, hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. I sorry for joining late. So I just wanted to give a short introduction of myself. So myself is Sayam from India. So I did my bachelor's in civil engineering and scored 72.62% from government college, right? And afterwards, in the year 2009, and afterwards I cracked gate examination, and I did my master's from IIT Kanpur in civil, that is design specialization, with CGP of 7 out of 10. So ma'am, considering that I have corporate experience of around 6 years, 6.5 years. So almost for the past 1.5 years, I have been upskilling into the field of analytics. I'm more interested toward the program for the pursuing that data analytics program, right? So I have that upskill myself. So I have very much good exposure to that data visualization tools like Power BI and programming like language like SQL and the Python. So along with that, ma'am, I just want to know, considering that I graduated in the year 2013 from the masters, right? And afterwards, I had an educational gap of around 5 years. So the reason was that I was preparing for UPSC engineering services. So that was the reason. And considering my age is 36. So is there any difference, right, regarding if I apply for this program and their chances of getting rejected in this particular program? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to answer your question first. I cannot tell you about the admission because
Yeah.
obviously the admission package, it's a committee, it has to come to me to answer. So I'm not going to answer whether you get admitted or not because of your GPA, things like that. We have several students who are in their mid-age coming, and you'll be surprised to see students that are older than you. Okay, the semester, we have at least 2 students who are really coming up. Age has nothing to do with going to and learning something. Okay,
Correct.
you don't know my age. My third master's degree was done last 6 years ago. Okay.
Okay.
So
That's it.
it is your ability to adapt to that studying, because that requires, you're totally going to be 100% studying. You cannot imagine, you cannot look at from the perspective, I got a 7 point something out of 10, and now I'm not getting it, or it should come naturally to me. No, I can tell you, I had to study. I had to put time into studying because I was doing a full-time job and doing my master's. So as long as you are willing, your attitude is the most important key in pursuing this. That's what
Okay. So ma'am,
I
based
would
on
boil it down to.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. So, ma'am, and just to elaborate more, and just having discussion with few of the academic counselors, so they straight away told me that considering that you had been preparing for UPSC for engineering services, and you have a considerable gap of 5 years, and also the considering your age, you are 36 years. So, though you are having good academics, right? So, at the time of applying for the visa, so visa officer, you might face rejection for that. So,
Well, so the visa part of it, the best answer can be given by our ISSO team. They prep students to help them how to answer. So I would say once you get admitted, talk to them to help you, help you prep for that interview. Okay.
okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, ma'am.
go ahead. Uh,
Yeah. One more thing is there, right? So considering that I am already masters from IIT Kanpur, so if I pursue another that to make a smooth transition into the field of analytics, and considering that I have hands-on experience, so won't there be any problem from the institute itself that considering already you are having a master's degree and again you are applying for the second
Yeah,
master's
but there
degree?
I can tell you, we do have students who have completed a master's degree, may not be a master. It is definitely not a master's in business analytics and then
Yeah.
they're redoing. It's usually a MBA or an MS in something else. So I would not, I personally do not think that would hinder you. But again, that would be a question you want to probably ask our ISSOT.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you. And
you're
that's
welcome.
great. And
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Who else has a question? Go ahead and unmute and ask, okay? Go ahead, Sheikh.
Hi, Thomas. Thank you
I
for answering two of my questions. So, I guess there's one small part which you have, I guess, missed out, which is the scholarship portal still says your score, official score is missing. The scholarship application will not be considered unless the official GMAT or GRE scores are received electronically. That's what the portal says, right?
Yeah,
However, I would like to be more considered for the program excellency rather than the dean's one. So I don't think it's an issue, is it?
no, it isn't. It is just like they will not consider you for the Dean Scholarship unless
Okay.
an official GRE or GMAT is there. That's what it means.
Okay, but I'm still considered for the
Yeah,
program excellence. Okay.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
yes, yes.
All right.
Okay, so Jocelyn, going back to your prerequisite, it will be in your admissions letter. It'll tell you whether you need a prerequisite. It'll be right there. Go ahead, Nicole.
Hello, Sunela. So my question is regarding the scholarship. So I have received a $1,000 scholarship that will trigger in-state tuition fee for the first year. I wanted to know if that is only valid for the first year or it gets carry forward for the second year as well.
No, it is only if you are given a scholarship and you got the scholarship for fall 25, it's only for fall 25 and spring 26.
Okay, so is there any way where getting a better GPA, the scholarship will continue, or
You have to
there's a hard
reapply.
stop there? Oh,
No,
reapply
you have to
in the
reapply. There's a
spring.
scholarship for continuing students. Yes,
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
you're welcome. Any question? I mean, the webinar is for another 15 minutes. So go ahead and ask any question. If nobody has a question, then we can always end early, but I will just wait to see whether anybody has questions.
Okay, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so I mean, this is not purely about academics, but I wanted to find out, um, does the program have any industry-sponsored, maybe project or capstone, I mean, as part of the project?
So the main part, it depends on certain classes you take. Some classes will have an industry sponsored project in there. Some don't. If you have, like, for example, in my class, the class that is in lieu of internship, I do have this semester a couple of projects that are industry sponsored. Not every, because it's only a couple, not every student is going to get that. That is in my class, because mine, I will only have, it's based on student interest, and all these students are in their final semester. So I look at what are the courses they have taken before, what is their grade before I assign it. But if it is a class, so for example, I would say large language models, that we have a class that may have a specific project that is company sponsored that all students are going to do on it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Jyotsna.
Hi, so I have another question. For the 3 letters of recommendation, like, can they be any academic or professional person in your life, like whether through like
Yeah.
someone you worked with in high school? Like if I did volunteer work in high school, is that okay? Like if that
It should
person.
be. Yeah, it should be.
Okay, and then I also was in a student org for the past last year before I graduated, and that helped me like get an internship through that program. So is it okay if one of the, how do I say, I guess like directors in charge of the program that semester writes me a letter of rec, or is like students not allowed?
I would not say another student should write, but if somebody of authority, like, you can. It is, yeah, because you said how many years experience did you have?
It was about a year.
Okay, I would also definitely recommend you having at least one recommendation from one of your academic professors.
Okay, so 3 letters of rec, and one of them has to be from my professors.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, and sorry about my
You're
dog.
welcome. Okay, I have a question here in 917, Nivedita. It says maternity leave consideration. So I would say that is a personal conversation with you, because I cannot answer that question. If you are an international student with an F1 visa, I may not be able to tell you whether, if you are not doing one semester, how does that go? That will be something that I won't be able to answer. But if you are a domestic student, my answer would be absolutely yes.
Hello, I'm back again. So
Okay.
I realized that your presentation was more on the Flex program. Is it possible to throw a bit of light on the cohort bit of it?
No,
Yeah.
there is a different team that does the cohort. You should join their webinar.
Okay.
I can tell you, the only thing I can tell you is that it's a cohort of students who only want either the data science track or an accounting analytics track. That much I can tell you. But how that program runs, there is a program director, assistant director, and program manager there. It is better that they answer your question.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. Same this side. Yeah, actually,
Vinita, just wait a minute. I have Bincy with her hand open. I mean, hand up, sorry. Go
yeah.
ahead, Bincy.
So actually, I am speaking on behalf, right? So, ma'am,
Oh, okay, go ahead.
yeah, oh yeah. So I just wanted to, yeah. So considering that, ma'am, I just wanted to know regarding the letter of recommendations. So how many letter of recommendation LORs required before officially applying for that particular program? So what it should be a blend of academics as well as professional. Yeah.
I would say yes. I would say yes.
So what would be the number of LORs required for this program?
So it's three letters of recommendation.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go to Bincy because that hand has been raised for a while. Go ahead, Bincy.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I hope so I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so I just have a bit of query that I asked in the chat already, like about
Okay.
the official transcript translation. So for an international student, this translation has to be done by another organization, or is it fine if the transcripts are just being sent directly from the university to UT Dallas, or is there any other
Yes.
process that we need
So
to?
the unofficial transcript is what you have. You don't need it translated. You submit that. Okay. We ask once you get your admission, we have already credentialed it. So what only thing we are looking for is an official transcript, not credentialed again. Just send it because you submitted an unofficial. We already credential it. We are just going to request that that same unofficial is what we're getting it from directly from the university.
Okay, ma'am.
So
I
you
think so.
don't have to re-credential it. No,
Yeah, so it's just the university sending directly to UT Dallas in a
correct.
sealed envelope or electronically.
Yeah, correct. So there are sometimes students will bring physically an envelope that is still sealed by the university and come here with the day of their entry, like for their orientation, and then hand it over to register. So it has, if you're bringing an envelope, it has to be sealed, stamped by the university you're bringing it.
Okay, ma'am. So my question is like, I think so I've seen in the portals, like for registration, we need the official transcript. And I guess,
Not for the first semester. Not for the first semester.
okay. Yeah. It answers my question. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Go ahead, Tanzeen.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
I would like to know about the skill sets I should possess before I enroll for the program so that it's easier for me to accommodate.
Yeah. So if you don't have any technical background, it's good to always skill up something because there's so many YouTube videos, free and data camp, Coursera, all of that. I would say have some knowledge of statistics, like quantitative methods, like because most of your classes will have that. It is recently we had a lot of academic summit, other events that I've gone. Everyone talks about how there's a lot of tools. Students know how to use the tools, but they don't know the underlying reason for using that tool. So knowing some amount of math, knowing a bit of statistics, knowing SQL, and some programming language. Python and R is what we use here, but I would say if you have a programming experience with C++ or C sharp, I don't think you need to go and learn Python and R because it would be something that you can easily pick up. I can say that when I did my master's in computer science, it was a different programming language. And when I was going for data science, I knew it was R and Python. I definitely brushed up and got the basics of it done. not anything further. Maybe like 3 modules or 4 modules just to know the data types. For example, in Python, you have lists and tuples and dictionaries, which Java or C# didn't have. So just to know what they are, basics, you don't need to come here prepared knowing Python and R, because we have courses that teach you, if you want to do foundations of programming for data science and organizing platforms for it. So we do have basic courses. Okay.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Azan?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Sorry, I'm coming in late. Thank you for this opportunity. I just need some clarity with respect to as letter of recommendation. So for my case, I am a graduate. Like I have my bachelor degree a long time ago, and put in years of working experience, and I'm a permanent resident. Right. How many letter of recommendations are required for the admission process?
So I said in the beginning that if you have more than 2 years of experience, then you only require 1 letter of recommendation.
Okay, because there's a mix-up over there. I have a colleague who is an alumni who has gone through this program as well. He's a professional. I think he put in a letter of recommendation for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? We have 3 more minutes. Go ahead, Jesseline.
Hi, Sunela.
Hi. Okay.
I wanted to know about the transcripts only. Like I have 11 years of experience now in the IT industry. So 11 years back, I got my transcripts and everything. So it's mandatory to send you the official copies, like from the university itself, or like I can send you this hard copy as well.
So when you submit for admission, like your admission application, your copy you can scan and submit. But the official, in order for you, especially like the first semester, you may not find it difficult to enroll because they will put a hold on your account until the official transcript is there. I personally would recommend don't wait till the very end. Once you get admitted, you are coming here, you decided you're coming here, ask your university to send an official transcript directly. Yeah, we will require an official transcript from the university. I don't think that is something that they provide an exception on.
Okay.
But if you have a specific question on that, you could email the admission office and get a clarification on it. You can detail it out.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Rohini?
Hello, good morning. I
Good
have a
morning.
question regarding a graduate certification program. So when we can enroll for it?
When you can, depending on, like, let's say you're starting in fall of 25, there is at least one course that you are taking that is in the certificate program, you can apply that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining the webinar. I hope you found it useful, and I look forward to meeting you all. Okay, have a good day.
Good day, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good day,
Thank you.
ma'am.